charismatic French bulldog Hank will be waiting for him at home and will be saying, woof, 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 woof.
Very lucky he didn't do the first hour because he could have quite literally been a fish out of water, but thankfully for Nemo, he knows how to navigate these conditions.
Their usual thing and going tits up, but we've got 6 hours, that's right, 6 hours to go here, and we're only on lap
Not
1.
too far away from Immortal Nick, but Immortal Nick right behind Vert Wheeler here, but Vert Wheeler still got to do that mandatory pit stop.
You can see there Vanessa enjoying this. She goes, "Oh, you're so brilliant and funny," and she absolutely loving that stream over there at 7 a.m. and Sky down there side by side with Random, and then it's Hoot Corp. Look at this down Kemmel Straight, Prince, as the team radio beeps are coming in, flying under the radar. Welcome to you, and it's so close. Is there going to be contact? I got fastest lap too.
Oh, look at you go.
Look at you go, says Jason Wilkinson. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Maxi Blade Racing League for Season 6. That's what we're calling it from now on, because Maxi Naked has come in with 6, how many here? Several Tier 1 subs, and there's that many I can't keep count. I've lost count, as the hype train has just gone to level 2, which I've never ever seen before. Different colour and all, that's how good it is. And look at that. Use your words, says Psydog. Just chatting there before. That's had some audio issues there, of course. Talking about how we like guys with hair. And of course, Simon took that a little bit too hard, didn't he? Yes.
Suck my balls, mate. Yeah, you're really good.
Thank you, Hainsey. Such strong support. 6 subs from that hype train, whatever that means, as I welcome along Jason Wilkinson to the commentary box this evening. Jason, not driving, not going from last to first tonight, but still in the commentary box, nonetheless, around the circuit. Enzo Dromo Edino Ferrari.
Well, I didn't go from last to first last week, but if we want to say I did, then yeah, I did. Last to first, it was a really good race. But nah, here we are at Imola, so again, the Maseratis in these Pro-Am classes look very nice. Andrelli, Nick and Matchin, nice 143s, but yeah, it should be an exciting night. Same thing as last week, Pro-Ams and Ams are out first, and then with 10 minutes to go, the pros will take to the track. But I'm on board with Andrelli here. The graphics man, the safety car driver from the Endurance Series, he's putting in a decent lap at the moment. It's looking good.
And let's have a look. And Psydog as well. He's stolen my material here, Simon Bishop, as we take a look at our graphics man, Andrelli. Of course, we are running here at Imola, 30 years to the day after Ayrton Senna passed away. Is that deliberate? Or not?
Well, we'll say if it offends you, then no, it wasn't deliberate. If you think it's awesome that I've done it, then yes, it was deliberate. But no, I pulled it out of the hat, and Imola was round 2.
And there we have it, Little Bear for the win. If it rains, says someone awesome. We're taking a look at Polka, as Hainsey wants to know, why are you watching a perennial back marker? And Savage Duck jumping in, saying Roland, I think that's Roland Ratzenberger with a Z there, but of course, yeah, we lost Roland, didn't we, in qualifying the day before Senna as well. So thank you to whoever that is rating us with a party of 1. Wow, that's going to make a huge difference, but that's fantastic nonetheless, don't get me wrong. As look at Vibesy and Exo racing down the main straight here. Look at this. Who could forget, you know all about this, George Russell and Valtteri Bottas. Remember them hitting each other back in the day. But this track, 22 corners, of course, used to be a flat-out run down to Tosa there at turn 7. But they brought in a couple of chicanes. Then I think there's been a few other changes as well. It's pretty much a flat run, isn't it, now, from the Ravazza Wilco, I think, straight down to the first corner. Yeah,
so it's a nice long straight. There's a bit of a slipstream you get. I'm not sure about the GT2 cars. Probably not too bad, I guess. But yeah, notoriously it is quite a tricky track to pass. A lot of the passes come from the car ahead making mistakes. So it's a good track to put pressure on, a good track to race in that sense. But in terms of all the overtakes, probably not the best. But I'm sure all these boys tonight will put that to shame. But have you actually welcomed Voodoo to the...
Just getting to that. Thank you, thank you for reminding me. Who could forget the great man who apparently, if you head to the Great Wall of China, you can see him from space. And boy, I butchered that one. But I welcome Chuck Norris alongside us from the Adelaide Hills. Welcome to you, Chuck.
I'm glad to be back, and you know it's a weird one, you know, the anniversary of Senna's passing, and you know, in amongst those trees there, you know, just off of that corner, there's actually a mural there for Senna. You know, fun fact, you can fly around on the PC and you can see the mural. But yeah, just off of that turn, there is a mural there. So hopefully we don't have to add anybody else to that list here tonight. But GT2s are back, looking really good for the Pro-Am and the AMs at the moment. Obviously, the pros are still yet to go out with just over 14 minutes left.
Well, you bring that to my attention. It is a 22-minute session, first 10 minutes for Pro-Am and AM drivers only. When the timer hits 12, Cinderella has to go home from the ball, and those drivers have to come into the pit lane and finish their lap there. But then we've got 10 minutes for the pro drivers to do their thing, Chuck, as well, as we welcome Beaky to the stream tonight. Hello to you, Bigster. Oh, g'day, Trev. Thank you, Beaky. But seriously, though, what do we got here? 13 minutes. Prince, where do these sessions go here? We're already 10 minutes in, can you believe it? And look at that, Shawnee Fuller, the man always run wide at whatever corner that is, the Ravazza. And so 42.7 at the moment. Are we going to see times quicker than this once the big boys come out to play, Chuck?
Oh, it's going to be interesting. I don't actually have benchmark times for GT2s.
Me neither. I think we're looking at low 42s. Maybe high 41.
Okay, so a little bit quicker then. So I know GT3s tend to be 41s to the 40s around here. But then again, the times, as I've been told numerous times from Wilco, tend to be a little bit slower on PC or on console versus PC. So yeah, maybe we might see somebody creep into the 41s, but I think real low 42s is what we might see the pro drivers do.
Let's wait and see. Here comes Nick, 0.5 of a second off of provisional pole held by Shawnee Fuller, the Englishman, as we go through the Variante Villeneuve corner, heading down towards Tosa, then turn 7, 8, 9, and sort of climbing the hill now. Beautiful venue this, here in the north of Italy. Of course, we have a Grand Prix back here again, don't we? We got washed out, rained out last year. Of course, and then got cancelled. And we've got Noel Prezzo there, who is a bot, so we don't like to see any of that. And man, I love the look of the Maserati, and that's coming in from the great man Chuck Norris there. Beaky wants to know, is it too late to join? You'll have to ask Wilco. He runs things around here, Wilco.
No, jump in, Beaky. GD2s, jump in. You've missed quali for Pro-Ams and AMs, but just start at the back, and yes, there you go. Have some fun, mate. Of course, jump in.
Wilco did that last week, and it didn't do too badly for him. 4th or 5th, I think, somewhere around that range.
It was 8th, but that's right.
8th, yeah.
We'll say 4th in class.
I gave you the win before, so yeah, that's not too bad. As I think the timer has...
so 137, Suze. Is that Smitty's first card across the line? And then we got number 10. So Smitty and Mayo, the next two cars. The Smitty's in P5, Mayo P7. So what can Smitty do?
As Beaky just chiming in there. Sniper, big hello to
P4.
you. As Sniper says, sure, not mucking around, absolutely loving it. Great to have your company, Sniper.
Glasso.
Snipey Snipe.
P17. That's a nice livery.
Is it? We looking at Glasso? Glasso's internet's
Glasso,
back too.
last card across the line. Yes, yeah, it is.
Here he comes. What's it going to be? Senor Wilkinson. He comes across the line. It's going to be close. It is going to be P16.
That's right. So I'll quickly go through the class before these pro guys jump out. So we've got Shawnee Fuller taking provisional pole, or pole in the Pro-Am class. Andrelli right behind him, and then right behind him is Machen. Little gap back to Smitty. Then Nick, our race winner from last week, he's in P5. Then we've got Sideways Polka, Mayo, Craig Yo, Vibesy, and then we've got the first of the AM guys, as I'm about to sneeze. No, mayonnaise, all good. So Ernie Drongo is in P10. Chipperton, Spawn, Jimbo, Nismo's done a better quali this race, so he's been working on his quali pace. That's good to see. Exorcist, Glasser, add too many. Is the round out for the AM class, and then we've got Big Bags, Little Bear, who is actually an AM class. He wasn't on the entry list, that's why he doesn't have a red number next to his name. And then JJ Norms with a disappointing quali at the moment, but it is a long race. But here come the pro boys out on track. First is going to be Mr. Noodles.
And we'll get to Noodles in a moment there. We'll let him soak in some boiling hot water. But just a quick one. Happy with that, lads. First laps around here tonight, says Glasso. Good to have your internet back. Welcome to you. Fuller Boy. Always listening to you guys on my radio in the Mert. Makes me feel really good, it does. Thank you for that, Shawnee. Beaky wants to know, Wilco, can you please send me the Discord login details? On Discord, the login details. He is all over that. 2 secs, baby. Says Wilco there. Could have improved by 2 seconds if I didn't bottle it. Almost happy to be towards the back, though. That's from Big Gaz, the Big Jizz. Big Gaz Liddell, I mean, as the KTM there. Big noodles, indeed, in the 55 KTM. This is an interesting looking car, of course, but the number 55 there down in P24. We don't have a lot of data, do we, Chuck Norris, the man who can be seen from space? We don't have a lot of data around this track in the GT2, so that's going to really throw the cat amongst the pigeons tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So, not only do we not have the data on the consoles, but I would almost say we don't really have the data on the PC either, because this content almost doesn't get used, kind of like the GT4s on PC. So, yeah, it's an interesting one, not having any relative data to know what kind of lap times we should be seeing. So, yeah, it's good to be able to kind of get these benchmarks now, so then that way we can kind of see how things progress over the season.
And that's coming from a man who doesn't play dodgeball because the balls dodge him. But 7.5 minutes left in this session. Someone awesome in the Maserati. My goodness, a Maserati, a red Maserati driving around the Autodromo circuit. Enzo Ferrari. It's a beautiful track, this one. And don't we love it? And what's happening there? Andrelli second. We're waiting for some of these guys, aren't we? Who's coming across the line first? As Knox Parker says Noodles. Yeah, we're going to get to Noodles. Here he comes through the Variante corner there. And Noodles, can he get another win? And says Knox Parker. Sorry, I'm just getting a bit distracted here with the comments. Ravazza, I think this one is. He won last night's Ruse X race in the Porsche Cup. Ruse race in the Porsche Cup. So he's coming in with some good form here, Jason Wilkinson.
Yeah, so Simon was filling me in today with the Ruse race because I wasn't. I'm unable to race. I tried to. But yeah, Simon was letting me know that him and Noodles had another Ripper battle, and Simon's message was second again. So he finished second in the GT2 race last week, second in the GT3 race, and then second in the Ruse race last night. And then wait until Friday morning when he says second 5 times in a row. So we'll see. We do actually have Matt here this week. So remember how we said last week that Porsche is an absolute piece of shite? Matt is actually driving the wheels off the thing, as he always does. And he actually has had some pretty good pace. So I think I've got rough times from a few of the boys, and I think Riggsy, who doesn't seem to be here tonight unfortunately, but he was saying he was doing 42.0 in the work. I think 42.2. Matt said he's done a 42.0. I'm not sure what the other boys have done. I haven't really been on, been sort of gas bagging off stream, but yeah, we're looking like maybe a 41 we might see, but the track is 30 degrees though, so maybe that takes a bit out of the times. Might be a low 42 in that case.
41.6 Fuller Boy reckons. Cloquet for pole. My money is on Cloquet, says Shawnee Fuller. Now let's pick a random driver, and that driver always seems to be Matt, doesn't it? But talking about this Porsche, I think he's on his own, isn't he, in that Porsche? Around this circuit tonight. Go.
Those curves nice.
Very nice. Doing very nicely there, wasn't it? That's a tough corner, that one. The whichever one. Which one is that? Variante Alta, I think. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
And
but just quickly about Cloquet, he actually won the GT3 race in last season. Here, so he's got some form at this track. Him and Matt had that Ripper battle too, as he goes to the top with a 42.3, and here comes Matt across the line. Dawn goes up to 2, and there goes Matt 42.1. So yeah, we're starting to see these times start to tumble now.
Well, there you go, Maxi Naked Blade, our pre-race show with thanks to Maxi Naked Blade. How good is he jumping in with the subs? But they reckon a 41.6, but a lot of love for Cloquet here at the moment. And we're getting down to the business end now. And this is where the really good drivers, or the great drivers with a couple of minutes to go in qualifying, they can just find a lap. The likes of Cameron Norris and Jason Wilkinson, they can just find that extra few tenths of a second, can't they, Wilco? The really great drivers in the last couple of minutes of qualifying, that's what you need to do.
Yeah, it's always good to put a few bankers in, and then yeah, these sort of last couple of minutes is when you start to really try and find those extra couple of tenths, but also not overdriving the car. That's sort of that very, very fine. It is also very good to find that line. But yeah, quality laps, nothing better. Good fun.
Good fun. Here we go. Cloquet again. 3.5 minutes to go in this one. Round number 2 of the Kid Buyers Racing League. Season number 6 here at Imola tonight. And of course,
check Noodles out.
Let's have a look.
He's going to have a big lap here.
Oh, Noodles.
14.
Is he going to be the first across the line? Let's have a look. Noodles, here he comes. In the KTM, the number 55 across the line. KTM livery as well, looking very nice indeed. Green flag waving there.
Oof.
Straight to fourth. So second row of the grid. Who else have we got coming through here, please? Who else?
Yeah, Matt, and then someone awesome. If you want someone different, so Matt's crossing the line now. 41.9.
Oh, we're into the 41s, Shawnee.
Awesome.
Look at that. Noodles, no. Side org. There's Simon Bishop. He's having another lap. What about Cloquet? They're starting. What's Norm up to?
Hainsey hasn't done a lap yet. Yeah, Hainsey, Norm is P5, so not too bad by him. But yeah, I was just looking at Hainsey down in P22 at the moment, so he's doing his first dry laps. He was on earlier and it was a wet session, so he might take a couple laps to get going. As he's sort of lagging a little bit on the screen at the moment, but yeah, Matt's with the. We've still got everyone have 2 laps to go, so we'll see how they go. And Norm's on one apparently.
Norm is on a lap. He's got some traffic, does he, ahead of him?
It's
Hainsey, I think, but Beaky has joined as well. We got him in the end. How good is that, Beaky down there? And that's what it's all about. Jumping in, having some fun. But now we're down to, like I said, the business end of qualifying. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Wilco, you're sort of directing this, but into the 41.9s. And they're jostling for position here. They've all pretty much come out on the same part of the circuit, Wilco, for this final run.
Yeah, so again, back to Noodles and Simon. Let's have a look at Simon, actually. I'll watch Noodles cross the line, but Simon's in P3 at the moment. This Merc is just starting to fire up, I reckon. It takes a few laps to get those tyres going, and there goes Noodles, 1/10 behind, and Simon, 1/10 behind as well. So we're starting to close up.
Cloquet is who many tip to be our pole position man. What can he do? Comes across the line. He might be going again. Yes, there's enough time. Norm. Let's take a look here. It looked like an okay lap from naughty Norman Price, Wilco.
He backed out at the end there, so he might have made a little mistake. So he's on a lap now. So this will be the last lap for everyone here.
Last lap for everybody. What's someone awesome up to? He's having another go as well. So last tour for these drivers. I don't want to make a mistake. Into the 41s. Fuller Boy wanted a 41.6. Not sure whether we're going to see that, but stranger things have happened. Track temperature of 30 degrees. Air temperature of 26 degrees, Chuck Norris, and things are heating up. Final run, what's going through your mind as a driver on your final qualifying lap? The pressure must be unbelievable trying to get that perfect lap time in with just seconds remaining, Chuck, in the session.
Yeah, absolutely. So most of these drivers, or actually every single one of these drivers, they'll be on their final lap here. So, it's one of those ones that... Oh, that's unlucky. But yeah, just making sure that you're pushing, you're maximising, even if you invalidate this final lap, as long as you give it your all, because you never know where you're going to end up.
As we take a look down to Ravazza, 1, 2, and onto the start-finish straight. This got an old track map here. There's a chicane in that final under the lap on this map of mine.
You actually still see it when you see it just as they cross the line, it's to the left there.
Yep, there we go. That must have been the old one they used many years ago. Here comes Simon across the line. What's it going to be for Simon? Not that...
Oh, Cloquet.
Oh, look at Cloquet.
And Someone Awesome's the only last car. Norman and Matt have got an invalid lap, but here comes Someone Awesome down in P9.
It's all down to this. He needs to pull something out of the bag. Someone Awesome in the number 1 Maserati. He'll be looking for number 1.
Up to 5th.
Up to P5 there. 7/10 further back, but Mint Matt, 41.9. Cloquet getting close, but not quite close enough, and only a 10th back to Noodles and Simon Bishop. What a session we've seen, Chuck Norris here.
Yeah, absolutely insane session. I don't think I was actually personally expecting to see the 41s in the GT2s, but I guess it just goes to show the power
apparently
of the
they are
drivers.
actually quite quick here because they can take the curbs and they got a lot of horsepower. So yeah, I think Simon messaged me. This isn't one of his favourite tracks too. He's not a big fan here, but he was saying the boys doing faster times in the GT2 than he can do in the GT3. So we'll see how that goes. But just a quick little thing, just to note. I never like to plug myself too much, but doing the BOP myself, I've got 4 cars within 0.2 of a second. So I'll take that.
Yes, that's pretty close, isn't it? I don't think you can get much closer than that, but we've got a 3-minute countdown timer. There is your grid, tooting his own horn. Look at you go. And
Toot,
toot, toot. Well, we've had the hype train already. Let it rain, says Jimbo Jones. Great to have Jimbo with us here at the Enzo E. Dino Ferrari. We've got a 60-minute race coming up for round 2 of this championship. And do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go back for a quick word of our sponsors. Of course, thanks to Maxi Naked Blade, best in the business. Just ask Maxi, that's his slogan there. 1 mandatory pit stop for fuel, which is 25 seconds or so, optional extra 5 seconds for tyres. 60-minute race, no safety car. And we've got a formation lap coming up. We will be back very, very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. This is round 2 of KRL for the GT2s here at Imola. Back in just a moment. Charismatic French Bulldog Hank will be waiting for him at home and will be saying, woof, woof, woof.
Very lucky he didn't do the first hour because he could have quite literally been a fish out of water. But thankfully for Nemo, he knows how to navigate these conditions.
We've got 6 hours, that's right, 6 hours to go here, and we're only on lap 1.
Not too far away from Immortal Nick, but Immortal Nick right behind Vert Wheeler here, but Vert Wheeler still got to do that mandatory pit stop.
You can see there Vanessa enjoying this. She goes, you're so brilliant and funny, and she absolutely loving that stream over there at 7 a.m. And this guy down there side by side with Random, and then it's Hoot Corp. Look at this down Kemmel Straight, Prince, as the team radio beeps are coming in, flying under the radar. Welcome to you, and it's so close. Is there going to be contact? Welcome back. We are on the formation lap here. You can see great turnout, 20 plus drivers once again here for round 2 of the GT2 season. Big shout out to Maxi Naked Blade. Lick the stamp and send it Cloquet. I'm sure your man will have no issues taking your advice. Let's hope for a clean start. Yep, definitely. Smoko is now over, back to work, says Maxi. Looking forward to watching this later. Let's go, Cloquet. Let's go. And thank you, Maxi Naked Blade, once again. He's been subscribed now for a long time indeed. and definitely well and truly into his first trimester as we continue the formation lap. I'll tell you what we might do. We might take a look at this circuit with thanks to Andrelli. We are flying to Italy, the north of Italy. Here we go. Flying into Italy for this round 2 event here at Imola, and opened in 1953. Start-finish straight, long run down to the Variante Tamburello, of course, and then the Villeneuve corner, Tosa, and then a run down to Piratella. Very challenging circuit as you climb the hill to the Acqua Minerale, and then the Variante Alta, difficult corner to get right. First of the 2 Ravazzas, turns 14 and 15, and then we complete the lap here at Imola. Fantastic circuit. It's had an interesting reputation over the years, that's for sure, but it was a very, very power-based circuit many years ago, wasn't it? But it's changed a bit over the years, of course. A couple of new chicanes in there, and I think they took out one, didn't they, towards the end of the lap. But fantastic circuit, Wilco, but we haven't seen a lot of GT2 action around here, have we, so far?
No, we haven't. So we'll see how they race. If it's the same thing as last week at Watkins Glen, these tyres are going to get destroyed in these GT2 cars. Big engine power these cars have. That Merc has 700 horsepower. So the rear tyres get destroyed if you're not careful. But the tyre wear probably will be a little bit less than Watkins Glen, because Watkins Glen has those long right-handers and stuff, so those front left gets destroyed. But we'll see how they go and how everyone's pit stop plan out as we get ready to go racing.
Almost ready, and look at this. Side organ noodles are going to be side by side again. How good was that last week? Remember at the Glen, of course, those two had a great battle. Wonder how they can fit 700 horses in a car, but here we go. And here we are, I meant to say, and we're just about ready to go here, I should say, to get racing. 20+ drivers here, GT2 cars, looking beautiful, absolutely magnificent. And we've got 60 minutes to go ahead of us here in Italy. We're almost ready to go. Thank you, Tom. Italian horses are very small. There we go. There we go. Don't say that in front of them, though. There's Side Org. We'll take a look at Matt. Let's pick a car at random. And it's just landed on Matt, but we're almost ready to go. There we go. Single file. 2 by 2 by 2. It's a real Noah's Ark thing happening at the moment. And Markle with the perfect timing. It is go here. Down to turn 1. Here they go. Matt leads them away with Clocaid. Many people's favourite here this evening. Side Org. Let's hope they get all through cleanly there, like Wilco said, because, geez, Matt's made a terrific start there. And you can see Clocaid in second, or is that Side Org up to second there, Chuck Norris? I think it is, as we take a look at someone awesome here on the opening lap.
Yeah, I think Side Org's managed to creep his way up there, managed to get himself a couple of positions off the start. Matt, though, he got the perfect run down into T1. Almost looked like he was struggling a little bit with the run down, but managed to just clip it in on the inside of the curb and managed to just kind of fly through the sequence there, and he's holding off now. So Side Org, the power of the Mercedes, not too far behind the Porker. The KTM's actually pretty good. Not too sure how it goes around here, but nice to see everyone getting off to a nice clean start, as Imola tends to be quite scary going into T1.
And yes, it looked scary, like something could happen, but it didn't. There's Shawnee Fuller leading his class, and then someone awesome as well. Variante Alta for the first time. There's Matchin as well. Nick, last week's winner, I believe, wasn't he? Did he win last week? I think he picked up the pieces, didn't he, after Simon Bishop and Noodles had that coming together. But Andrelli there, Mr. Graphics himself. What about the track preview, Chuck? How good was that? What do you think of it?
Oh, look, I love the track previews. I honestly, we had the days where we didn't have the track previews, and now we've got the days where we get the track previews, and honestly, I can't think of anything better now.
No, remember... Sunday, Monday, happy days. And we never, before the days...
That's a Vanilla song, I think.
And the Fonz there is that the Fonz? Yep, it's happy days, I think it was. There's 58 minutes. We're through the opening lap of this race. And heavens above, Wilco, I think everybody's got away cleanly. And as soon as I've said that, is that big Gaz Liddell down the back? Oh, Beaky's off as well in the Lifesaver Frankston livery there. He's off the track though, Wilco.
Yeah, Beaky's absolutely missed his braking point and just taken out Add Too Many. He's probably thinking, what the is going on here? So yeah, Beaky might have made a little mistake there. He did redress and he might be getting back going, but we'll go to that battle at the front because, yes, as you said, Simon's jumped up to P2 and he's putting a lot of pressure on Matt here with that 700 little Italian ponies underneath the bottom.
Yep. I tell you, like you said, straight off the top of the bat, Chuck Norris, you see a car stationary at Tamburello. Brings back some pretty ordinary memories. It's not a good place, that's for sure. But Sidorg in second. But for how long? Because Matt, look at this, a couple of Gran Turismo 7 lads thought they should have got their own part in the Gran Turismo 7 movie. Maybe there could be a sequel. For those wondering, braking zones are larger in the GT2s compared to GT3. So simple mistakes can come with zero practice. Beaky's still doing well though. He is still circulating down the back there. But is this an opportunity, Wilco, for Simon and Matt? Surely you've got to really be closer than that to get it done down into turn one, don't you?
Yeah, no, as I said, it's sort of a really tricky place to pass as Vibesy just flies with that 700 horsepower, flies past Jimbo down into turn one. But just looking at all the other classes at the moment, Hainesy's jumped up a few. He started down in P18, P19, I think. So he's up to 15th now. There's two cars.
Craig and somebody else.
Andrelli.
Oh, no. And Andrelli, gonna be tough to pass in there. Beast says, Will I am. And what's happened? Tamburello again, I think, there. And Andrelli's, but I don't think he wanted to enter back on, did he, Wilco? In anybody's way, no. I think, but he's...
Just trying to... Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Obviously a little
damage or something.
Mistake. Yeah, there's something going on there, but just
front,
quickly go back to the front. I'll just read out the leaders of the other class at the moment. So you've got Shawnee Fuller in P6 overall, he's leading the class. And then you've got Ernie Drongo in P14 leading the AM class with Jimbo and Chiberten just behind. So yeah, there's been a few shakes. You see that front sort of, Matt to Norm, they're sort of just slowly pulling away. Sean's trying to go with them, but of course he's bringing someone awesome with him too. So you can see those top five guys, they're really starting to stretch their legs out.
Yes, you can see there, Craig almost...
Well, here comes Simon.
Here comes Simon. We'll get back to Craig in a moment. Look how close it is. Mercedes and Porsche together at last. And as Matt covered him off there, I think he might have for the time being, but he was a lot closer on that lap, Wilco, and he almost got it done. He might even, in fact, have another crack here.
Yeah, so as we said, that Merc's got some good poke on the straights, but obviously Matt's got enough through the corners and braking zone that he can, which is normally a Porsche thing. They're very good through cornering and braking. So he's got enough yards. If he can hold the inside, he should make it very hard for Simon. The thing that Simon's wanting is for Matt to have coming out of the and Simon will be all over him like a cheap suit.
Oh, and somebody is off there at Tamburello, I think again. Who is it?
1, 2, 3, Norm. JJ Norm.
JJ
the other
Norm. Off the track there. Craig almost centered himself at the same spot. Thank you, Voodoo. Big hello to everyone watching in Brazil who follows KRL. As Norm there just having a moment. And it's a big moment. Beaky's still going around in that car. And good for him, you must say. But Norm as well, Andrelli involved. So there's been a bit of mischief at the start here, Chuck Norris. And what can they do, some of the guys involved in some mischief early on, to get back into this race? Do they just have to get their head down and concentrate and not try and get involved in any incidences? We can take a look at the Audi there of Had Too Many. Looks like it's had too many because it's been bumping up and down off of walls like crazy.
Here comes Simon again.
And here comes Simon again. Oh, look at me, Wilco. I'm going to, Here we go. Down the... Oh, my goodness. They've left everyone else behind too, haven't they? 2.1 seconds back to Clocaid. Take 3. Can this get done, Chuck Norris? No. And Matt puts that porker right where he needs to, heading into turns 1 and 2. And Simon is going to have to wait for another day here. because he's not getting through there, Chuck Norris. This is incredible racing here in front of our very eyes.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't agree more. And the one thing I can't take my eyes off is how much these GT2 cars can actually eat those sausage curbs. So those raised yellow lumps that you see on the inside of some of these corners, you touch most of them in a GT3, you're just dead. So it's very interesting to see that these GT2s just roll over them like they're just not even there.
Yeah, very well balanced, aren't they, over those yellow sausage snags, those curbs, because they are absolutely deadly, aren't they? You go over those things in an F1 car. Obviously, the ride height, do they run a little higher, do these GT2s, Wilco? Is that, they're very high, aren't they, off the ground in terms of ride height?
I was going to say, I'll tell you, but I'm the McLaren accidentally. But I think the ride height, it might have been the Merc or the Maserati, it's like minimum ride height you can run on the rear is like 150 mil or something, 160, it's something crazy. It's like, I think the McLaren, like we run like normally like 70, quite high. So yeah, they've got a lot of ride height in these things. So yeah, that's probably why their pace is actually quite good compared to the GT3s.
What about Smitty and Matchin here? Just looking at this battle, huge midfield battle going on in this class. You can see there, this is for a podium, if you don't mind. Smitty, Matchin, Nick in second, Shawnee Fuller, and someone awesome bit further afield there. But Hainsey and Mayo, look how close these blokes are. But Matchin is keeping his composure, isn't he? Not letting anything happen here, which is fantastic to see. But we're on lap 5, and look how close it is. Every time I look at this battle, Wilco, it's getting closer.
Yeah, it's very close. It's very close. I'm still watching just to see what Clocade's doing. He might be trying to save his tyres a little bit, might go a little bit longer, have fresh tyres at the end, which that was a strategy I did last week, and it did work out quite well, because these GT2s, a big undercut can help, but you're going to be sort of left out to rot with those last few laps when the tyres are gone. But yeah, again, we're just sort of keeping an eye on this battle. Obviously, we try and keep the very exciting battles on stream as much as we can, and of course, the battle between Matt and Simon for the lead is quite big at the moment. But of course, there is a lot of other battles going on. So I'm looking at the moment, we've got Sideways Polka, Mayo, sort of a train behind them. And then you've got Exorcist is right behind Glasso. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I think we're just going to keep watching that battle down into turn 1 with Matt and Simon. But as soon as Simon gets the inside, he could be all could be through. Yes, here he comes again.
Here he comes. How many takes now? Let's have a look at this.
Oh, he thought about it.
It's an action replay though, isn't it, Chuck Norris? As we've got a prediction.
Matt keeps running very deep into turn 1, so Simon's trying to set him up for this here. This is what Simon needs to do.
Here we go.
But it's just not quite working out, a bit too risky.
It's one of those setups here that Simon,
here we go.
He's a very...
Late apex here. No, Matt's too quick through the chicane.
Down to the Tosa hairpin. He's too quick for him at the moment, isn't he? And he's putting that Porker in all the right places where he needs to be. Who will pit first? Get your predictions in. Won't let me predict on my own thing. But the prediction is up. Who will pit first, Matt or Sidorg? 5 minutes on the clock. Gamble responsibly. Think of what you could be gambling with. Call 1-800. Quit. Well, that's the cigarettes. But I'm putting my money on Sidorg again. Will he try and get an undercut? Is that what you're thinking, Chuck Norris, in that beautiful brain of yours?
Yeah, so I actually cleaned up last week, didn't I? Off memory, I think I ended up winning like 5,000 or 6,000 channel points, I think. I robbed a lot of people winning all the predictions last week. So, Tidorg, I managed to win quite a bit off of him. So, hopefully, it comes in clutch again, because I feel like he's got the pace to try and get past Matt, but unfortunately, he just can't kind of get the car in there on the corners. But this time round, we'll see if he can get it into T1.
Oh, here's another opportunity. Who will pit first? Get your point predictions in. And he's gone left, he's gone right. Mitchell Johnson bowls Shiders. There we is at the Barmy Army. Do you remember that one? Yeah. So
he bowls to the left.
he bowls to the right.
He bowls to the right.
Oh yes, many days down there.
Oh, he's Simon. He's got to run.
Simon has a run, but Matt wants to cut off that run. I know that Clocade's got front row seats. I think Clocade's got the fastest lap. Yes! Frankie, let's hope you're not a bot, because if you're not, you're absolutely magnificent. You join us. The man alongside me is Jason Wilkinson, Carrum Downs' very best. And alongside him is a man who wrecked his bicycle.
Not a bot, but here's the address of this guy I'm just talking to.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know that. As Chuck Norris wrecked his bicycle and skinned the sidewalk with his knee. That's how tough he is. But 47 minutes to go, and Clocade's getting very interested here, Chuck. He's getting very more than interested. He set the quickest lap and he's got front row seats to this. Yeah. But now he wants an invite to this party that he wasn't initially invited to. But he's turned up to the front door and said, let me in and give me some free drink.
Oh, here we go. Matt's made a mistake.
And he could be all over Matt Simmons. Here we go. Oh, was that a little bit of a cheeky move? But I reckon Simon's got him here. Are they going to make contact? No, they're too professional and gorgeous for that. Because Simon Bishop has the lead, and is this going to open it up for Clocade to get right up in his slipstream?
Porsche has in the slipstream.
And he's got some slipstream city here, Chuck. Is he going to have another go?
Oh, it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, these guys battling is great for us, and it's great for Clocade too, because it's managed to bring him all the way back in there. So maybe we'll have a nice three-way battle up the front here, which will bring Noodles, Norm, and Shawnee Fuller into the mix as well. But this is what we love to see, Trev.
We certainly do. Will.i.am says, can I change my answer now that the positions have changed? Will, boy, he's jumped ship quickly. And the Pirate of Thieves game, how good is that going to be as well?
Sea of Thieves?
Sea of Thieves, there we go. And we might even chuck in a stream of that. 30 seconds left on the prediction. And 8 laps gone. Mid-Matt in second now under pressure from Clocade. But who would have thought when these two boys were just little tackers playing Gran Turismo? I want to be a race driver, Daddy. No, son, you need to work and do all that sort of boring shit that people usually do. And Matt and Simon didn't agree with him, and look where they are now, playing an entirely different game. But this is fantastic indeed. And I reckon Simon might have uncorked the bottle. I reckon he's away here, Jason. But Matt, all up his ginger. Look at this.
Yeah, so as we said, that Porsche is very, very good. Hello, Rainer. The Porsche is very good under brakes, so we should see. Look, he had a little bit of slipstream towards the end of the straight, but not as much as Simon was getting with that Merc power. So I think what Matt's going to try and do is just, again, latch on the back, see if Simon makes a mistake. If he doesn't, I would go for an early pit stop. Not because I got 2,000 coins on it, but because it'll be a good strategy, Matt.
Well, 56% to Sidorg, 44 to Matt in the Who Will Pit First competition. For your points, look closely at those kit coins, because there's a little K in there, and it took me hours on Photoshop to get that happening. But
get in my sack!
Get in it!
Get in it!
And Steph, the get in my sack sound effect can mean only one thing, and that means that Steph has joined us from Sydney, Australia. The winner is a Sydney. Hey, remember that guy? Yeah, you know what isn't very good? The other Porsche, it's horrible, says Rain of Fire.
Yes.
And good evening from Sydney, says our VIP in Steph over there. Good evening, gentlemen. A short view back to the past. And
I thought there was going to be a Dracula one or something. The first one.
I want to say
I want
hello.
to suck your blood.
Hang on a minute. 43 minutes.
Mistake.
Mwahaha, there we go, Steph, and I'm silly as a wheel here. And what's happening to what's happening
Matt
here?
made a little mistake, or they're going to go side by side through the chicane, and nice and clean.
Nice and clean, and you can see there. Hello, got to just make special mention to Steph. When is that next stream with Voodoo? Let us know. And favourite boys, there we go. And that's why we do. Oh, and that looked like a lifeguard livery there going off.
It's Beaky.
It's Beaky. And there's a man, Chuck, who is not swimming between the flags as we speak.
Yeah, you know what they say, if you don't swim between the flags, you know, the Bruce the shark will come and get you. But, you know, I don't have that problem. I can swim outside the flags, you know, I can swim in the flags. So it's not really a problem.
We know what happened to the shark that bit you, don't we, Chuck, off the coast of South Australia? After a long battle, it passed away in intensive care. And that's coming from a man who does not get frostbite. He bites the frost. And that's for sure. But 18 minutes or so gone in this race, and we're carrying on. But we're carrying on because we're seeing some incredible racing. And Rain of Fire says...
Noodles is back in it.
Oh, Noodles is back in it, I tell you what. And he's back in with a shot here in that KTM. And who else is Norm there? Good on you, Norm. Tip Top's the one. And Shawnee Fuller leading his class. What else is happening? A few people
let's have a look at the other classes. So Shawnee Fuller leading. P2 in the class, Pro-Am class is Nick, and then Matchin. And then we go down to the Am boys. They're actually having a pretty good battle. You got Ernie Drongo out in the lead with Jimbo 2 seconds behind and only 5 seconds behind. So Nismo's going to try and see if he can sneak onto the podium for the Am class. But as you said, let's scroll down the very bottom. We've got Team Little Bear and Beaky, the only 2 cars to have completed their stop at the moment. So yeah, there's again a few cars. Looks like the KTM might not be as quick this week as it was last week. Yeah, they're sort of struggling a little bit, but as for in quali, the pace is there if they can just unlock it.
Yes, that's what I've been telling myself in the sim racing game for many years. The pace is there, and the skill. It's just a matter of being able to unlock it. Matt's tyres going off already, says Will I Am. And Steph VIP, oi, oi. And there we go. How's the commentating been? Have I missed any chaos? Has there been much chaos that has been missed, Chuck Norris? Or, Beaky has continued to run out of track there. And he went onto the grass for, that's not a place you want to be getting onto the grass and hitting the wall. That's for sure. But there's a little bit of runoff area there. But he just seemed to go straight off the track there, Chuck. Very strange indeed.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think Beaky's going to have to send an invoice for the mowing because, you know, it's not cheap to do that kind of thing, you know. But no, he's doing well, jumping in with no practice, kind of doing a full sand learning as he's going. He is doing very well as he's getting out of the way, doing the right thing for Blue Flags.
Love that yellow dash of yellow on the livery there. Reminds you of the... sort of 40, used to be 40 cars back in the day. The bright yellow cars are about 6 laps down at the end of the race. They used to run around the back. But sorry, Wilco, I cut you off there. Is it a paddle pop type style, lifesaver type setup there, or?
Yeah, it's paddle pop cross. It's a lifeguard having a paddle pop. There you go.
There we go. Some sort of hybrid cross. But no, seriously, he's getting out of the way there and going onto the grass again. And we'll get back to Beaky's mowing in a moment. But 11 laps completed. And Simon Bishop, you just get that feeling, don't you? We saw that battle with him and Noodles. We could very well see and another battle with Noodles as Rain of Fire's chimed in. We've ticked over to 20 followers or people watching us. I'm doing 20 followers. Chuck, I'd love if I only had 20 followers, wouldn't I? Yes. I'm doing something really dumb, lads. After 13 years, I'm making my return to football. And does he mean football as in a Victorian type of football, or
That's the question.
Whereabouts is he from? That's what we need to know. And I'll give away your PO box 1800 Adelaide Hills there in Little Hampdale. But 38 minutes to go. Big hello to Dirk out there sending the wheelbase as well. And 38 and a half minutes to go. 22 minutes gone, 12 laps in, and Matt's still not making a stop. And I've got a cheeky feeling his tyres are going off. Jason.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, thanks to so I think so. But he has actually clawed a couple tenths back over the last few laps. So I think it was that side-by-side action through this corner here with Cloquet about 5 laps ago, which is what led Simon to have that little break. I still hope that Matt pits early so I can get those 2,000 kid coins. But so he's sort of the cork of the bottle at the moment, Matt, with Cloquet and Noodle. Or Noodle's sort of just dropped back a little bit, but as we said, these I haven't done laps this week, so I don't actually know how bad the tyre wear is. Maybe the tyre wear is actually quite high here, and the boys are just sort of managing the pace. We saw Cloquet early on. Now he's got pace, done the fastest lap. But if I just go back through, we've got Vibesy, Sideways, Polka, Smitty, and Vibesy all sort of have this battle here for P10.
Well, this is unbelievable. Because the sad thing is, it is AFL football, of course, born and bred in Victoria. He just lives up in Queensland. That's exactly what we wanted to hear, Wilco. Good on. He's 36. Wow, that must be old. Qualified to play over 35s. He turns 36 on the 30th of May. 2 days before is the great birthday of Taylor Byers, the great one. And she's turning 6, and I'm also 36. And boy, there can't have been much to do in 1987.
Oh, Smitty!
And what's Smitty doing there? Did he have a moment?
He had a little slide. Actually, it was a very good save by him too. He sort of just lost the rear end through that second chicane there. The back wanted to become the front. And when that happens, Trev, you look like a real weirdo wearing front pants.
Yeah, it's some pretty good stuff on the front and on the back as well. I had to be careful
what I said there. I just sort of checked myself up then. But yeah, we're Harry High Pants over here, Smitty. He's going all right.
Look, I think if we had our time over again, we would have done things differently. But that's how we do things here on the Kid Buyers Racing League. Season 6, Round 2. We are already in Round 2 of the championship. And our big sponsor, of course, Maxi Naked Blade, has jumped off. He was just on his smoko break and decided to donate $70 and then go again. But that is fantastic because whispers to Sidorg, shh. I mean, Pit, so me and the 3 others can steal 2k coins off you. And someone awesome is into the pits. And let me tell you, is there a little bit of match fixing going on, Wilco, in the coin department?
I wish, but no. No, I have no intel of when the boys are pitting. I just do know they will pit in the next 35 minutes, though. That's all I know.
And there's Sidorg there, and he's 2-2-2. Richie Benno would love that, wouldn't he? People are thinking, who the fuck's Richie Benno, you idiot? But there we have it in the Mercedes, and you can see flashing on the front windscreen there, Sid, flashing on the front. Is that what it says? Sid?
Yeah.
Sid.
Yeah, Sidorg.
And
the initials.
Sid there on the front, flashing in that Mercedes. Not the evil kid from Toy Story, who was blowing up all the toys. Do you remember Sid? And he was a little prick, wasn't he? But 35 minutes or so left. And boy, controlling this race at the moment, Simon Bishop. Then it's Matt, but Matt's getting very close indeed, still with Cloquet behind him. And what does Noodles do in this situation, Chuck Norris? Does he pit? Does he continue to view this battle going on ahead of him? Or does he get in for that undercut like Wilco mentioned?
Yeah, look, I reckon the undercut is entirely plausible or possible. It just depends, though. Looking at the track map, coming in too early will probably throw you in the middle of a group. So it's going to be hard. You kind of need a couple of the AM guys, I think, and some of the Pro-Am guys to come in. But yeah, I mean, my pit window is this 10 minutes that we're in kind of at the moment. With 35 minutes down to 25 minutes remaining is typically my pit window in a 65-minute race.
And Matt is off. And that's going to be terrible. Forget about Sid, who's mellowed with age, says Rain of Fire, because that is a mistake. That's a sort of mistake you'd expect from a 36-year-old, but you wouldn't expect it from a 2015 GT Academy champion, former postman with a British bulldog called Hank. And that's incredible. And
well, his last bowel movements were precisely 2 hours ago.
All right, 27 kilometres, and then tell everyone about it. Yeah, as 33 minutes remaining in this race. Now that's fantastic, Wilco. Great stuff. Just getting fitter there is what you need to do. The man who was born right when Carlton won their last premiership. How scary is that? But it's about a week before, I think. As Matt and Noodles now, what can Noodles do? Does he still want that undercut, Jason Wilkinson?
Well, I think he does the opposite to what Matt does. So I reckon, yeah, we're in this zone where you can pit and hopefully have. Oh, Matt's starting to struggle now. So I reckon, Matt, do yourself a favour and please unlock what Will said.
Yes, yeah, that sounds a bit like, you know, the old Martin Brundle, do whatever he doesn't do. And I reckon Noodles is going to be just Noodles down the inside. Matt's got to come in surely. He's going over those big yellow sausages again. And he's coming in. No, he's not coming in. Wow.
He's got the horsepower though. Look at this Porsche.
This Porsche go. A little KTM
That poor
lawnmower
KTM.
there.
Noodles has got his legs running out Flintstone style as fast as he can, but just couldn't get the grip.
Hey, Wilma.
Oh, he's off again,
And
Matt.
Matt's off again. Took too many Italian horses into the turn one. And he's gone off again. Something's got to be wrong because a man of this caliber doesn't make these sort of mistakes, Chuck, over and over.
I'm wondering kind of what's going on. So I know the Porker in GT2's probably one of the worst GT2 cars out there. So maybe he's struggling a little bit with the tyres going off too early. Maybe he used them defending with Sidorg early on. I'm not quite sure. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll have to see what happens after he does a pit and see whether that was the problem.
As here's Exo, who we chatted to last week. Italian horses, says Rain of Fire. He says, kid buyers, you absolute idiot, because das is German horses. Never ask a man his wage, and never ask a German company what they did for 12 years back in the 30s to the 40s. But there we have it. 31 minutes remaining, which, Chuck, means half the race gone, and almost half still to go. But 16 laps
Don't blush,
in.
baby.
Don't blush, baby. I don't want to just, play a big shot, play a silly shot, get caught out, so I'll be sitting here with you, talking to you, and 30 minutes or so. But Matt now struggling, but Noodles, and people are going to be thinking, what else is going on in this race? Because Hainsey now, where is...
Noodles is in.
Noodles has bitten the bullet and he's in his little KTM, and I think, is that Shawnee Fuller in? No. Norm. And Norm Price is in again. In for the first time, I should say, but he's in the pits now.
Norman.
Norman! Oh, just get on YouTube and go back to the old Fireman Sam episodes before it was animated and they were made of that weird plasticine stuff, the old shows they used to do. But Cloquet now in second, and is that Ernie Drongo? And somebody else I'd also be absent tomorrow night. It's the wife's birthday on the 2nd of May, so that's interesting there. And it's probably I'm not sure whether it's her 36th birthday. I'm sure. Not over yet. What kind of accent do you call that? What kind of accent do you reckon it is, Wilco? Do you call that? It's a strange one, isn't it? Sounds like something out of the Caribbean Premier League. And 17 laps completed now. 34th for her. Oh, he's a little bit younger than Rain of Fire there. But enough about Mrs. Rain of Fire. We are only worried about Mr. Rain of Fire. And Mint Matt here in third. And Shawnee Fuller continuing there, leading his class along with Nick. And Nick's a funny one, isn't he? He just bobs up right at the end and takes victory out of the jaws of defeat, doesn't he, Chuck Norris, and wins things just by accident, literally, at the end of races.
Yeah, he managed to come in clutch during round one, managed to pick up the pieces after the Sidorg mistake during round one as Nick's deciding...
Yes, Matt's in! 2,000 points, baby!
As I've just been notified that I've been robbed of my channel points, Trev.
And it's about bloody time.
Of some kid coins.
What if I accidentally say it was Sidorg as the outcome? What will you do, Volko?
I will find you. And I will kill you.
As who will pit first? The prediction has ended. Yes, quickly, I'll find you. Yes. And here comes
Double or nothing.
Double or nothing. 4.5k go to Jason Wilkinson.
Yeah, come on.
And that's plenty of Ricardo laughs there as Nick is into the pits. And Nick, what about those Nick Scully? Those adverts, Wilco would be seeing them.
I got fastest lap too.
What? Look at you go!
Have you ever seen those furniture? Have you ever seen those furniture ads? Are they is it furniture?
No, you're telling a story,
Oh, yeah,
and
never.
I'm not sure where
That's
I'm
all right. I saw him down in
Big
Melbourne.
Scully, that's not a T-Rex hunting business down in Benalla, is it?
Yes, and toe to toe with Rex there. But 27 remaining, and boy, 18 laps of. Oh, and is that Ernie Dingo there going off into the dream part of the track? That's not really part of the track. You want to be going off down there because it's going to completely ruin his run for the Ravatsis. And Shawnee Fuller going off too. Everyone's camera that we're on, Chuck, they're throwing it off the road. This is outrageous.
Yeah, to me it looks like tyres are really going off at the moment. So Wilco touched on earlier that the GT2s tend to just eat their tyres a lot quicker than, say, GT3s. So yeah, I'm wondering whether it's kind of in the mix, but there is a blue flag being waved. I'm unsure who that is for. But yeah, I'd hope most of these guys will come in and get a fresh set of boots.
And they are going, you can see, what is it, the top 6 guys, top 3 in pro, and as we've got Mayo into the pits, Mayo's in, Matchin, how long is he going to keep running for? Shawnee Fuller as well, and is this just going to cost time? Jason Wilkinson, do you reckon here? What would you do in this situation, Wilco? Would you stay out a little bit longer if you're Shawnee Fuller, or would you come in as soon as you can?
What's got? Maybe if he's not getting held up by Smitty, I'd stay out for another couple of laps because he's lost the advantage because he was battling Norm, so Norm will be a couple of seconds ahead of him now. So, we've got a couple of cars off here. And Hainsey and Ernie Drongo have come off, so not sure what happened there.
Paints and Ernie Dingo have both had a coming together at some point. We've missed this, and I'm sitting side saddle at the moment because my dog's taking a lot of my office chair up. But Hainsey there, has he got some damage to that car? As Burra checks in, what have I missed? Goat, says Burra. Rain of Fire, hello there. Missed plenty of action. Hey, legends, and the Go TAFE, that's a sponsor of the Holman Valley Footy League. That's why I keep saying that. But 25 minutes remaining. Got to mention the sponsors, of course. But big shout out to them. Well, what has Burra missed? He's missed plenty of action. If you could give him a quick 60-second race review, Wilco, please go ahead. I'm going to put you under the bus on the spot.
Alright, so Matt had pole position in that poor car. Matt was holding the race lead for a while. Eventually Simon, with that extra horsepower he's got past him when Matt made a little mistake. Matt slowly started dropping away down. I think Porsche cooked its tyres. Simon still hasn't pitted, so the effective lead is Simon. But Cloquet with fresh tyres could be sort of really limiting here. It was about 4 seconds behind him when Cloquet pulled into the pits. In terms of the Pro-Am stuff, Shawnee Fuller pitted yet, and in terms of the AM, we've got Jimbo and Ernie Drongo now having a very close battle. So once Simon, Sean Fuller and Matchin pit, then we'll know the exact order. But I think Simon's going to go long and try and have fresh tyres to the end. So maybe that could be our next poll. Who's going to win? Simon, Cloquet, Noodles. I think they're probably the only 3 at this stage.
Yes, we've got to be upstanding for the Australian national anthem. No, just kidding. We've got to be upstanding for the boss in Burra Dog. Is he the boss? He's like sort of a Wilco.
He's security. Yeah. The endurance series security man. That's
Wilco.
him.
He's kind of our regional manager, and then we've got Burra, more of a statewide.
Simon's in.
Statewide role as we talk about the management structure here at KRL. And what are we, Chuck? Just a bit of eye candy to throw into your Thursday night.
You're the Tasmanians in the representative. The ones no one cares about. Sorry. No. Sorry. Hi, Brody, if you want. And Andrew.
Yes. Who's Andrew there? But no, that's
just think Andrew.
That's fantastic. Burra, the Chuck Norris of Australia New Zealand Endurance Series. That's for sure there. Cloquet getting, there's only one Chuck Norris, that's for sure. And I'm sure any others.
Breaking news. I just got a message from a certain Sidog, he just messaged me saying, no tyres, wish me luck. So he's going for no tyre strat, and he is going to be coming out a mile in the lead, I think. Because Clocade's going into the second last corner now, so it's only 5 seconds tyres, and assuming they've all taken tyres, he's going to be about 10 seconds in the lead.
Unbelievable, but no fresh tyres. I think it's an additional 5 seconds onto your pit timer, a mandatory pit stop as well. I don't know what's more incredible, Chuck Norris, the fact that he's texting whilst in the pit lane in the middle of a race, and secondly, he doesn't message you or I, does he? Seems to message Wilco an awful lot, though.
Yeah, it kind of gives me flashbacks of what I think it was a Project Cars 2 season, or maybe it was our first ACC season that we ever did. I was winning by maybe like a minute or something, and I decided to jump on my phone and start chatting in the chat with you guys. Like, good times.
Good times.
So
great.
9 seconds is the gap. 9 seconds to Clocade. Let's see if this closes up over the next 20 minutes.
Let's have a look there. Here is Clocade. Going to be a struggle to get them to the end. It says, Will I Am Genius or Madness? Says Rain of Fire. But wow, that's a throwback, isn't it? Project Cars 2. Is that where we met? I think that's where we met Chuck Norris back in the day.
Yeah, I got a bit of whiplash.
Whiplash! Oh, yes!
And that was the moment that Rob Dog fell in love with you. So
That was the greatest moment, I think, of my entire career.
How good was that when we first met Chuck Norris? And just like the old drivers back like Fangio in the 1920s, he had enough time to text the boys and come into the pits.
I don't think Fangio in the 1920s a Texan.
take his cloth hat off and, I don't know, go and fly a few bombing
And
missions.
send a telegram to his fucking to the people.
Writes out a note, ties it to a pigeon.
And then Trev, that's how Trev.
We haven't got that far yet, but sticks and stones down here will break my bones, but we certainly can't text us. There we go. As what's happening as Matchin into the pits, finally one of the last people into the pits. But what is happening further down the order, please, Chuck? Who else have we got here? We've got Ernie Dingo and Jimbo now 3.6 seconds further back as he's running wide. That's very wide indeed, but he's still got Ernie Drongo in his sights there. Good battles right throughout here, right throughout the field, Chuck Norris, keeping us here very interested and very aroused here with 20 minutes remaining.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to give people a friendly reminder that these drivers, although they're racing for an overall position, they're also racing for class wins as well. So the white background is a pro driver, silver background is a pro-am driver, and the red background are am drivers. So Jimbo currently trying to claw down Ernie, who is currently winning the race for the AM drivers, sitting in P14, which is really, really good. So hopefully Jimbo can kind of rule out a couple of mistakes that he's made over the course of this lap and, you know, keep it clean for this final 20 minutes, because it would be great to see that gap come down.
And let's, Jimbo getting a little bit sideways there. Let us know in the comments what you're thinking about this one. It's going to go right down to the wire. Shawnee Fuller continuing on there. And continuing on his merry way. I
think at this stage, Sean won't be taking tyres. He'll just be. There's no point taking tyres for 15 minutes unless. Well, he might. It depends where he's going to come out. Because remember, he was battling Norm, and now Norm's 10 seconds ahead of someone awesome. And just watching that battle, someone awesome and Nick have battle. Oh, my voice broke. Oh, thanks, Mr. Simpson.
And Beaky off to the side there. Nick now has never heard of Nick Scarley there down in Melbourne, Wilco, but the furniture.
No, I have. I was just pulling your leg.
Oh yes, very good. But,
it is a furniture place.
The same guy who does I think that's the Channel 9 guy, Nick Scarley. And get in quick for your double edged sofa.
Bed.
And there we go, as Nick. Someone awesome. And Nick, look how close it is. They're getting by a little bit of traffic here, Chuck, but this is an interesting one. Maserati versus Maserati, very evenly matched, of course. We don't know their setups and what's going on. But, Nick, he's got the pace. He's got the pace. It's just a matter of lining him up for the next time they're on the back part of the circuit. Where would you be thinking about passing someone awesome if you're in Nick Scarley's shoes here at the moment, Chuck?
It's a tough one. I really love the dive down into the final two corners, or T1 is definitely the best place to go for it, but there are other places that you can get it done. It's just a matter of how brave you are. So Nick, though, currently leading the Pro-Ams, obviously Shawnee Fuller leading the race for Pro-Am, currently also in P1, but he hasn't gone into the pit yet, so we don't know where he is, but Nick is going to want to get past someone awesome, I think, the moment he can, because if he can build that gap to Machen, then that's going to help him for the long run, as he makes a bit of a blunder into the chicane and almost murders him. So hopefully he just kind of resets, sets himself back up, and tries to go for it again.
Just quickly, Nick and Machen are actually teammates in the Endurance Series. They might be trying to double team someone here. Our championship, GT3 champion from last year, But yeah, Nick and Machen are teammates in the Endurance Series, so let's see how this plays out. Machen's on fresh tyres too, maybe he only pitted a couple laps ago, so let's keep an eye on that gap. 1.9 then, now 1.4, so he's starting to fly. And speaking of the gaps, Lloyd, what was that gap when Simon come out? 9.8 seconds, down to 6 for him. Okay.
6 points, and that's without tyres, of course. Nick there just having a moment at the chicane there, Chuck. What chicane? He just sort of went straight on. But he's come back here, he's a little bit further back. We might have a look at Cloquet now, so we're guessing
Shawnee Fuller's in.
Shawnee Fuller finally into the pits, passing Jason Wilkinson there in the pit lane, and Hainsey, Beaky in as well. Where's Beaky? We always love to check on where Beaky is. He's a few down the field, and Add to Many also running there in his own class, but I'm going to say he had a bad start, didn't he, Wilco? I think he got cleaned up. Was it Beaky or somebody cleaned him up?
I think Beaky maybe Add to Many and clean him up, but yeah, I'm just seeing where this Sean Fuller battle comes out. He was fighting Norm, so he's gone an extra, 15 minutes longer than Norm, so an extra, 8 laps or so. I don't think he would have taken tyres, and let's see, looks like, well, he's actually coming down pit lane there, so he's going to be very close with Norm, so that could be a good battle to watch for the P6 overall, P5.
Italian marshals there thinking about what tortellini they're going to have later on for dinner. And back out onto the circuit, Shawnee Fuller. Who's that alongside him? Matt Simmel. Boy, you're not...
So he's ahead of Norm, so I don't think he's taking tyres then.
No.
So let's see that battle.
Let's keep an
Oh, Cloquet must have made a mistake. He's down to 8 seconds.
Oh, he's dropped a couple of seconds.
No. It was clicking over with Sean, so it's 5.9 now.
5.9, 15 minutes to go. We are not done with yet, and we've almost Noodles.
Nick has gotten ahead of someone awesome too, so now Machen's all over someone awesome.
We'll keep an eye on that. Let's have a look at that, why don't we? Machen. Oh, look at this. Look how close they are. And the new prediction is up. Will Sidorg hold off Cloquet for Zevin? 5 minutes on the clock. Gamble responsibly. If Sidorg loses this one, I'll throw my toys out with my bathwater in the cot, says Voodoo.
3,000 big ones on the yes.
And 3,000 kit coins. That's a lot of Ricardo laughs. 6 of them, in fact. Yeah, you know, I'm finishing 15th, but I'm having fun. Yeah. Did Lance say that? Okay, and Cloquet will get close, but we'll have it off. There it is, and he's done it.
He's going!
Yeah, did Lance really say it was my fault? Because now I'm pissed off.
That's really pissed me off.
Yeah. It's
5.3.
5.3. It was 6.6 from 6.6 to 6.1. From 6.1 to 5.3, and it's getting ever closer all the time as Mint Matt as well, quickest lap of the race, and no points for that. 4.8k points though if Sidorg can hold off Cloquet, and we'll keep an eye on that gap. 5.2 if it gets under 5. What does it need to be, Wilco, with 10 minutes to go or so? What do we reckon?
About 7/10 a lap, so I'm not mathing, but it's going to be right on here. That AWS graph they've sort of seemed to have pulled this year, it's like an overtaking chance in 3 laps.
Oh, yes.
Isn't that the AWS thing?
Yes, last name versus last name.
Yeah.
The stride, is it striking distance within so many laps?
Yeah,
or
that's
something?
it. Striking distance. Yeah.
We can get.
Well, if you cut a chicane, you're striking distance. So.
Yeah, Max Verstappen within striking distance in 3 years when the new regulations come out. But there we have it. Why does your car look like a pair of Speedos, says Rain of Fire. I knew I was thinking of something. And Beaky jumped into the pit lane and redeemed the blue flag. Come on, where is that blue flags? And classic Kimmy there. Mark putting 10 coins. 10 coins. Well, that's huge there on no. And we have some real bets, please, as might clean up 5k points, though. That is fantastic. And what is that gap at the moment as he comes across the line? Cloquet, 5.3.
Back to 5.3.
Well, he might not have hair, gentlemen, but he's
but Simon's coming up to some traffic now, though. You've got EXO, and then there's a battle for P19 and P20. EXO's out the way.
Yep.
The P19 and 20, P20 and P21 are just ahead battling.
So, is this going to affect Simon Bishop's race there in that striking blue Mercedes? And I just thought I'd come up here and talk to you, Trev. But he races, of course, Wednesday and Thursday nights, one of the big names, and to race in KRL. And Wilco does race on the odd occasion with his Fanatec F1 edition wheel rim when he gets a chance. They're beautiful looking setup there too. For Wilco there, but not like me though. Logitech G29 many years ago. I must have won it or something. I usually win most of those things and never use them. But 11 minutes and 20 seconds to go, and air pair colours, mate, says Beaky. I know, mate, says Rain of Fire. They're having a great old chat there. But Simon Bishop, this is the battle he's coming up to, Wilco, as the prediction is now closed into the Ravazza, and Simon, it's not easy for these guys further down. It's usually the first one to come through sort of wakes them up, doesn't he, Wilco? Some of this, so they're not really lapped, they're having their own battle, of course, but Glasso and Big Gaz, what are they going to do here, Chuck Norris? And they're getting out of the way, I believe.
Yeah, so they're just holding out a wide line. They might even do a little bit of a lift off. Just to allow Sidorb to get through with no dramas whatsoever. So yeah, it looks like he's on a good road here. The gap has come down a little bit for Cloquet, so just over 10 minutes on the clock. I'm interested to see how these tyres are going to go, how this gap is going to unfold. But you know, if Sidorb makes a mistake and Cloquet comes through, then you know, the voting at the moment is 100% to Sidorb for holding off Cloquet for the win. But in the 0%, there is actually Mark, 10 points there. So Mark might win 6k channel points, or the four of us that voted for Sidorb might have to split this 10 channel points, and I've got a feeling there might be a little bit of a fight over that.
And a big shout out to those two who were battling there. I think it might have been Glasso there who completely
Glasso
went off the track,
Big Bags.
Went completely off the track there at Tamburello and went and visited the Senna statue there. Well off the track he was, but getting out of the way, that's fantastic. 3.9 seconds. He's lost a little bit of time through the traffic, Wilco. And Big Gazza and Glasso continue their ding-dong. But 3.9, less than 4 seconds. There he is. And you just reckon he got past Gaz, didn't he, at the right part of the circuit. But depends on where you come across some of these guys further down the field. But Cloquet now, as he got through the traffic, I think he might have here, Chuck. And he's well and truly on his way. I know he's got Glasso still in front of him.
Yeah, so this is going to be another one of those situations where if Cloquet can get close enough before T1, Glasso might peel off, or if not, Glasso will peel off, likely just after that. But Cloquet's very impressive at the moment with his pace.
Cloquet doing very nicely, back to 4.2, so Simon has settled a little bit.
Oh, he's been hit.
And who hit him there?
Cloquet. So it looked like Glasso was sort of slowly getting out the way and sort of was meant to run wide and braked a little bit too hard in the process, and Cloquet sort of went straight up his tush. So yeah, probably easy getting out of the way on the straight rather than sort of trying to hold an outside line for a braking zone, but a little bit of miscommunication by the lads there.
And we've got Exo. Is he into some mischief? Oh, he's off and just missing Shawnee Fuller and Norman Price there, but he's gone off at the Tosa hairpin. And a little bit of miscommunication. There's not many other real close battles, is there, fellas around the circuit? I'm just trying to have a look.
Yeah, you got Vibesy's just behind someone awesome. And Mayo's a little further back. And then you've also got Jimbo's only 8 tenths for the Amwit. He's actually only 8 tenths behind Ernie Drongo.
That is an inch. That might be the pick of the bunch, I reckon. Jimbo Jones. Imagine the crowds if he could get up and win this race. Only 7.5 minutes to go. Wind temperature of wind speed of 8 kilometres an hour. Sort of a northeasterly here, and we are in the north of Italy in the San Marino Romagna region near Bologna in Italy. Fantastic circuit, beautiful views. And they used to do a fair bit of testing here in the F1 many years ago. And those old V10s, V12s getting around this track, very nice to listen to. But 7 minutes remaining in this one. And on the day, 30 years ago today, of course, the 94 San Marino Grand Prix. And boy, that was an ordinary race, that's for sure. But less than 7 minutes now, we're almost on the home stretch. But how strange that we're back here on the day 30 years later. And Simon Bishop looks pretty good. He looks like a sure thing. And if you want to get involved there, I just use the Discord link there and get amongst it. Still plenty happening and still plenty of time to, what are the driver numbers? Do we have room for any more, Wilco, in this championship? If anyone's out there wanting to join or thinking about getting involved?
Yeah, we've got a few spots left for the GT2s. I think we officially are full, but there's a few people that aren't racing at the moment. But yeah, definitely, you can get your sign up in. You can see there's only 30 guys, or 38 cars allowed. So if you want to race, jump onto the KRL Discord and get your sign up in, and let's try and sort you out for a race next week at Nürburgring.
Nürburgring.
Speaking of Nürburgring, the Nordschleife comes out on Friday. Console Peasants too.
This Friday.
Yeah.
Console Peasants Classic.
And Glasso there.
Or is it this Friday or is it next week?
Or, I'm on PC and I've had it for a long time. Since like for weeks, but yeah.
You know, it's funny you say that though, Trev, because I'm genuinely excited to see, first off, how the performance is for Nords on the consoles, because it's very interesting on the PC. It destroys a lot of people's computers. So I'm interested to see how the performance is going to be, whether there's going to be this memory leak situation that we have on our side of things. Also, the lap times as well is going to be an interesting one. But talking about interesting, Norm on the back of Shawnee Fuller here, and they've both decided to go through the sand trap because they missed T1.
Yes, just straight on there using the former configuration of this circuit. They forgot there was a chicane there at turn 1. But Norm and Shawnee Fuller continuing. But what about the Ernie Drongo Ernie Drongo battle between Jimbo and Drongo, and this is for the win here, Wilco, if you don't mind. And Rain of Fire not happy with the Nordschleife. He says, Nordschleife sucks. I should time you out for this, but I let this one slide. And good on you, Chuck. You're not sending him to the cooler this evening, but give us Sebring, give us Le Mans, but give us anything else but that, says Rain of Fire, the man who is celebrating his wife's 34th birthday up in Brisbane in Queensland. And don't tell me where that party is, because I'll be sending invites to everyone out there in Twitch land here this evening. 4 minutes left. What can we see in the final? Oh, look at Norm. Norm and Shawnee down to the Ravazza. They look like twins, don't they, in those cars, except for the sort of blue colour scheme on the bottom of Norm's car there, the number 7 and the number 5. Happy birthday, Mrs. Rain of Fire. And happy birthday, and God bless you.
It reminds me of that Mr. Smithers.
Mr. Smithers. And imagine Cam just diving out of a cake. But look at this. Norm down the outside into turn 1, and Shawnee Fuller, they've decided to do something unusual here, Chuck, and they've decided to actually take turns 1 and 2, and that's interesting. Like not like last lap, but boy, this is going to go down to the wire. And flying in through the window, Cameron Norris. Can you just change my train of thought, Chuck? Because let me tell you, it's March 23rd as well, Cameron, if you're wondering. But Shawnee Fuller and Norm, who are your kit coins on here, Chuck Norris, to take this one?
Oh, it's an interesting one. Shawnee Fuller and Norm, obviously, they're both in different categories. So Norm being a pro driver or classed as pro driver, and Shawnee Fuller classed as pro-am driver. These drivers, they're going at it, you know, where they're not letting the driver class bracket hold them back. You know, it's good to see these guys going toe-to-toe, but this is some good racing, I've got to admit.
And lap 32. Only a couple of minutes remaining here. Hope you're enjoying it at home. Round 2 of this season. GT2s tonight. And then it is GT3s here at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari. Named after the son of Enzo Ferrari, Mr. Ferrari. And boy, how famous is that name. And there's somebody off. No, I thought I saw a yellow flag there, but they must have got going again. And Rain of Fire's backing Norm in here. But Cloquet, it's less than 4 seconds again, Jason, but yes, he's running out of time here.
Yeah, he is. I guess people would better get out of the way, it's right, but yeah, it's going to run out of laps. If it was maybe an extra 10-15 minutes, then yeah, for sure, would have been on for a young knock. But Simon's just been class of the field tonight. He had that good battle with Matt, and once he got in front, there was never looking back.
Ferrari, great movie, says Rain of Fire. A little bit long in places, but could have cut it down to a couple of hours. But no, good movie. Nonetheless, famous name. And of course, Wilco has driven around, not this circuit, but a Monza. And giving it all of the gus, that's for sure. As Beaky, I'd like to see Chuck jump out of the cake for Rain of Fire's wife's birthday, like Erica did in Under Siege. Oh, yes.
Right. Okay, now more
And Jimbo Jones has taken the lead. And where's Ernie Drongo?
He's just, made a little mistake at the last corner. Let me just double check that. As I look down, I don't know if Jimbo actually spun him around. Let me just double check and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, I was going to say, while that's happening, there's a couple of really good battles at the moment. You've got Shawnee Fuller and Norm right behind each other. Matchin is also not too far away from Nick. Vibesy on the back of someone awesome. So although there was a period of time over the course of this race where there was big gaps, at the end here we've got maybe 5 battles, as we can see, even down to Spawn on the back of Nismo Nath for P18 as well. So, you know, this is all going to be tough battles, I think, to the checkered flag.
And here we go, we've started the final run. Only a few kilometres between Sidorg and victory. 3, 2, 1, 0. And Cloquet still, he's in a bit of traffic there at the moment. Might have done crap tonight, but at least I beat Jason Wilkinson. At least he's giving it to you for once and not me. Oh, hello everyone. And Trevor. And, well, you know how he sort of sounds. But Mint Matt there in 4th. And not quite happy with, but look at this, continuing to rage. And you said that, Chuck Norris, that this battle was continuing and showing no signs of letting up here as the sun sets at San Marino. And through Tosa for the final time. Nick there as well. Nick, a little bit disappointing. He picked up the win, didn't he, last week, Chuck? But down in 7th, second in class, though. He's still not done too badly. Shawnee Fuller promoted to pro, methinks, says Rain of Fire. We'll see how the promoters, what the promoters have to say about that. Someone awesome, and Vibesy too. This is interesting. And you're like the sea, Trev, a bit salty. That's, I'll tell you what, just take me away, Beaky, that's for sure. But
here comes Simon.
Here comes Simon Bishop, 30 years to the day. He thinks he is the new Senna. He has finished the race and wins round 2 of this championship after missing out at Watkins Glen in round 1 after that contact with Noodles. He comes across the line to win here this evening. Cloquet in 2nd. And is that Nismo Nath? Was he in the race, was he? That's interesting. Okay, I thought I saw Nismo Nate there on the top, but mid-mat finishes Shawnee Fuller and Norm. Look at these two. Wow, look at that, 0.066 right down to the wire. What a finish that was. Probably should have been keeping an eye on that as Nick comes across the line as well. Where is Matchin? Here he is. Someone awesome. Well done, boys. Not quite salty with you, Beaky. Never salty with the Beakster, that's for sure. Great to have your company with us as we get those final results coming through now. Mayo and where's EXO finished? EXO well down the field. No, not a podium. 6th in his class tonight. Here comes Mayo. Across the line, where did he finish? I think he might have finished 4th or 5th in his class. And I think we've got Big Jimbo. Here comes Jimbo. I think I've got Jimbo there. Jimbo comes across to win. So Ernie Dingo there must have lost some time or something. Wilco must have made a mistake or something. But Jimbo crosses the line to win. And that means we're going to be chatting with the one, the only Jimbo Jones. And I think everybody else has finished the race. Here comes JJ Norms. Need a little wedge or something there to get himself out of the sand. As who else? Something Chippendale flashing through. Team Little Bear already in the pits. Glasso as well. And that is a wrap, Chuck Norris, on the race here tonight. But Simon, class of the field here as we speak.
Yeah, absolute stellar drive by Sidorg there. He did well, had a great battle with Matt over the course of the opening, I would say 15, 20 minutes. And then managed to wiggle his way past and just kind of kept that gap going. So Sidorg taking out a win here for round 2 in the GT2s. It'll be a good feeling for him because he accidentally threw it away in round 1. So this will be a result that he'll be needing for the championship.
As Steph just giving us some feedback saying, got to be real, we've got to find a new name for the stream currency. Kid Coins. Sounds a little bit sus. Thank you. Thank you, Steph. Boy, you got a dirty mind. I never quite thought about that. But there we have it. Just seemed like a natural sort of name given the channel name. But anyway, that is fantastic. What else could we call them? Norris Coins. That was a lot of fun with the porker, says Matt Simmons. Unfortunately, Matt, you are not finishing in the top 3, which means we don't get to talk to Matt, which is the highlight of my week. But we've got to have a chat with Simon, which is great, by the way. But that's unfortunate for Matt Simmons, the one and only Matt Simmons, of course. Give Hank a good pat there. No tyres left after 60 minutes without a change. Someone awesome. Realised when I pitted that my first stint was on used tyres, upside down smiley face. And that's terrible, isn't it? Because that means that, well, they're already worn when he pitted after that first stint on the used tyres. That is absolutely dreadful. But only a man like Matt could bring it home in 4th, Chuck Norris, and still take out a result here.
Yeah, he did well. He really struggled, I think, early on with the tyres, was struggling, and look, he did well. He did really well. Probably wasn't the result he was looking for, but look, P4 took out the purple lap of the race as well. You've got to be happy with that.
Absolutely. We've got our winners coming in to the post-race driver press conference, and Simon Bishop is here with Shawnee Fuller, and we might start with Simon whilst we wait for the rest of the drivers to come along. Thank you, Add to Many. Thank Jeebers, it didn't rain. I enjoyed that second stint on new tyres, says Matt Simmons. VIP status for Matt Simmons as well. One of the founding partners of this channel and one of the founding fathers who chiseled kid buyers out of solid rock there. Next best chat, Trev, is with Simon. And Simon Bishop does join us, actually. Speak of the devil, he is with us, our race winner in his class. So Simon, mate, talk us through that race. Good payback for last week.
Yeah, it's good not to finish second. It's also good not to mess up the pit stop. So it was a good race. Cloquet was very, very fast. And so I thought, if I give myself a bit of a gap here without changing tyres, I won't lose that much speed. But then I did. And I just got a bit lucky that he got caught up in traffic, I think, a couple of times to hang on. But it was good all in all, particularly as not a big fan of this track. So it'll probably be the one and only time that I win here. But I will take that. It was a good day. And it was a good battle at the start, too, with Matt and with Cloquet as well. And also Noodles there in the KTM that's like a snail on the straight. But unbelievable in the corners. So on to the next one.
And looking ahead to next week, mate, a little birdie told me that Imola not one of your favourite circuits. Is there any truth in those rumours?
Yeah, I hate it. Yeah, it's just I don't know, just never getting my head around it. And also the curbs are awful, but at least in the Mercedes, you could just drive over the top of them like you're in a Hummer. So that made it a little bit more tolerable. But I could see the other cars didn't have the same luxury and they were bouncing all over the place. So yeah, not a fan, but that's all right. You can't like them all.
Well, I tell you what, there's one that likes you is Matt Simmons, of course. Love the battle with Simon at the start. Great stuff. Thank you for that. Beaky as well, and he won't be qualifying in the Enduro here at Imola, of course. There you go. So at the end of May. But thank you, Simon. Enough not enough from you. We could chat all day. But looking at it next week, Nürburgring, how are you feeling around there?
I guess we'll see how we go. It's not a favourite place of mine either. So, I mean, we'll see how we go. I don't know how good the Mercedes will be. I didn't think the Mercedes would be good here, but it was. So, we'll see how we go.
We shall see round 3. Thank you for that, Simon, taking the time out to join us post-race. Every track so far in this season in the GT2's Wilco that he hasn't liked, he's won at. So maybe we should keep that theme going for round 3 as we move right along to Shawnee Fuller, who is with us. And Shawnee Fuller will just get to you in a moment, mate. If you've got us there on the line.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, my friend. Talk us through your race. Winner tonight in your class, of course. Didn't talk about you too much there, but great battle at the end, I think, with Norm, wasn't it, across the line?
Yeah, no, really awesome battle with Norm. Basically, throughout the race, I was following him. I was trying to hold my tires for the whole race. That was kind of my strategy. I went heavy with fuel at the beginning, so I was trying to take it a little bit easy. Albeit, I realised in the last 5 laps that strategy didn't really play out. But yeah, really great battle. There was one little mistake from Norm. He just ran wide at the chicane, and I managed to get by. Then he pitted. And then I didn't take tyres. I don't think he did. I don't think anyone did, actually. You never know while you're in the heat of battle. And then yeah, we had a really good battle at the end. I thought it was pretty clean in terms of how it came out, and pleased to just get over. On the contrary, this is a track I really like, so I was pretty pleased. And considering I only jumped in the Mercedes yesterday for a few laps, I was pleased that I was able to pull some things together.
A fantastic result, mate. Plenty of entertainment as per usual. Fantastic result for you tonight. Winning your class and having a great battle there with Norm at the end, mate. All in all, a fantastic effort. We'll catch you for the Nürburgring for round 3 of the championship. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Great stuff. Shawnee Fuller there, and what an English gentleman he is. Of course, like many Englishmen growing up racing on abandoned World War II airfields in wet weather and cold, wet, foggy weather, and just really came to the fore tonight here in the sunny Imola weather, didn't it? But we did have Beaky with us, but he's...
Jimbo.
Jimbo, sorry, I'm looking at something else. We had Jimbo with us who won his class as well, didn't he, in that battle down the back there with Ernie Drongo. But I think we might have lost Jimbo there, Chuck Norris. Is he in the waiting room?
I've had a look. He's not there. I think we
just
might just have to
messaged
get.
him. He said he can't hear. I said, try pressing the speaker button, and now he's typing. I think he might be done. So, but yeah, that was a pretty entertaining race. Again, just to as Simon knows, I don't like to plug myself too much, but BOP was not too bad. And we'll be back tomorrow night for the GT3. But yeah, that was good.
Great stuff. And that is, if we can't get Jimbo Jones back, no, I think he's gone there. But that is a wrap for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. GT2 Round 2 is a wrap here from Imola. We'll be back tomorrow night with the GT3s, of course. And the familiar names returning. Thanks, guys. Add to many. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Beaky, and everybody in the chat. You all know who you are. And you're absolutely fantastic. But we'll be back from 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. Thank you, Chuck Norris. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, always a pleasure, Trev.
Great stuff, and we'll thank you, Wilco. I think you thanked yourself. That's a man who says he doesn't like to talk about himself there at all. But we'll let you get back.
Just joking.
We'll let you get back to that beautiful Fanatec F1 wheel rim there. And just had a picture of it on my phone as I'm talking. Anyway, thanks for that. That's been magnificent. That's a wrap, of course. Be kind to one another, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you tomorrow night from 8 p.m. Eastern for round 2 of the season. GT3's back here at Imola. But for now, it's goodbye. See you next time.